NFL offseason is heating up, and with training camp right around the corner, the buzz around the New England Patriots is growing louder every day. There's a lot to unpack about this team, and one of the hottest talking points at the moment is the latest rankings released by Pro Football Focus regarding the league's top secondaries. And guess what? The Patriots are sitting at number 5. That's right, 5th best secondary in the entire NFL. And depending on who you ask, that might actually be a bit too low for what this unit can bring to the field this year. PFF has been rolling out its positional rankings all off-season, using advanced metrics, film study, and projections to back up their analysis. While not every fan agrees with their list, there's no denying they provide a solid baseline for conversation. And this secondary ranking is no exception. The top 5 spots were claimed by some of the usual suspects: the Baltimore Ravens, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Denver Broncos, the Houston Texans, and then your New England Patriots. Honestly, looking at Baltimore and Kansas City up top feels about right. Baltimore has one of the deepest and most talented defensive backfields in football, and Kansas City is coming off another Super Bowl run, so it makes sense to see them at the top. But when you start comparing the rest, you can start to make a real case for New England being even higher on the list. Just outside the top 5, you got teams like the Detroit Lions, the Chicago Bears, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Indianapolis Colts rounding out the top 10. But what stands out is the Patriots' position. They're right in that elite category, and it's not hard to see why. Christian Gonzalez had a phenomenal rookie year before going down with injury, and the team is expecting a big leap from him in year 2. Add to that the addition of Carlton Davis, who brings both experience and versatility, and you've got a solid cornerback duo. Then you look at the safeties. Jabril Peppers has seemingly rededicated himself to the grind, and Kyle Duggar, when healthy, is one of the most versatile safeties in the league. This group has depth, athleticism, and, perhaps most importantly, confidence. That's the thing about this Patriots defense under new head coach Mike Vrabel. It's all about identity. Vrabel knows how to build a defense. He knows what it takes to win in the trenches and in the secondary. And what he has in New England is a foundation that can be elite if everyone stays healthy. Health, of course, is the big if for any NFL team, but it's especially important for this Patriots unit because their success hinges on having those playmakers available week in and week out. When you pair this kind of secondary with a well-coached front seven, you start talking about a defense that can dictate the game, not just react to it. What makes this secondary even more valuable is how Vrabel likes to structure his defenses. It's all about creating pressure up front while trusting your defensive backs to hold it down in man-to-man coverage. That takes a high level of talent, and more importantly, mental toughness. But the Patriots are built for that. With Peppers flying around the field, Gonzalez locking down one side, and Duggar playing that hybrid linebacker safety role, this group can be a real problem for opposing offenses. And remember, we're not even talking about the depth yet. This isn't just a team with 2 or 3 capable starters. This is a unit with guys waiting in the wings, ready to contribute when the number is called. Of course, as much as we talk about the defense, one of the more under-the-radar storylines heading into the 2025 season is the possible return of the fullback position in New England. Yeah, that's right. Real throwback football might be coming back to Foxborough. Josh McDaniels, who's back in town and known for his creative offensive schemes, has always had a soft spot for fullbacks. From Jacob Johnson to players like James Devlin in the past, McDaniels has consistently found ways to integrate that position into his game plans, even when the rest of the league moved away from it. And it's not just about nostalgia. There's a real possibility that the Patriots could find value in using a fullback in certain situations this year. If you look at the tight end room, Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper are locked in as the top 2 options. And in some packages, they're basically interchangeable. That kind of flexibility allows the offense to stay unpredictable, especially in 12 personnel. But if they want to get even more physical, even more downhill, that's where a true fullback could come into play. Someone like Brock Lampy, not a household name yet, but a guy who brings that old school mentality to the game. He can block, he's tough, and if he can show just a little bit of receiving ability, McDaniels might just carve out a role for him on this roster. Let's not forget when McDaniels was with the Raiders, his offense ranked 5th in usage of 21 personnel, that's 2 backs and 1 tight end, for those who are less familiar with the terminology. They use that formation in over 20% of their offensive snaps. That tells you McDaniels isn't afraid to go against the grain and lean into what his personnel does best. And if Lampy earns his spot, it opens up a whole new dimension to the Patriots offense. Imagine Ramondre Stevenson running behind a true lead blocker rather than having to create his own space or rely solely on tight ends to seal the edge. That could make a real difference, especially late in games when defenses are worn down. Now, while the rest of the offense was busy training down in Florida, one name was notably missing, Mac Hollins, and naturally fans started asking where. Is he? Why isn't he with Drake May, Stephon Diggs, and the rest of the crew getting in those offseason reps? Turns out, Hollins had his own plan. He was in Australia doing some of the most intense strength and conditioning work you'll ever see from a wide receiver. And not only that, he was doing it barefoot. That's right, barefoot training is kind of his thing. He only wears shoes when absolutely necessary. Hiking, climbing, or of course putting on cleats for game day. But don't let the unconventional approach fool you. The guy is a beast. Hollins posted some eye-popping numbers that should have Patriots fans excited. An axle bar deadlift of 573 pounds, a dumbbell press of 132, and a sled pull that topped out at 738 pounds. That's elite level strength, and it speaks volumes about how serious he is about preparing for this season. He's not just training to look good, he's training to dominate. And even though he wasn't in Florida with the rest of the skill, players, the work he's putting in speaks louder than any Instagram post. What's more, Hollins brings something to this roster that's hard to quantify: leadership. He's a veteran, he's been around the league, and he knows what it takes to stay in the game. Younger receivers like Pop Douglas and possibly even Kyle Williams can learn a lot from him. And while Williams may currently slot in as a top 3 wide receiver, it wouldn't be surprising to see Hollins work his way into that spot sooner rather than later. He's the kind of guy who leads by example. And with a young quarterback like Drake May coming in, having someone like Hollins in the locker room can be incredibly valuable. Not just for what he does on the field, but for how he prepares, how he trains, how he approaches the game. Speaking of impact players, let's talk about the edge rusher situation in New England, because this is one area where the team still has something to prove. ESPN recently dropped their list of the top edge rushers in the NFL, and unsurprisingly, names like TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, and Max Crosby topped the list. But what stood out even more was who wasn't on the list. Anyone from the Patriots. In fact, New England didn't have a single player mentioned in the top 21 edge defenders. That's a pretty telling stat, and it underscores exactly why this front office is constantly linked to high-profile names floating around in trade rumors. We've heard whispers about Micah Parsons. We've heard the Trey Hendrickson rumors, and there's a reason they keep popping up. The Bengals and Hendrickson are reportedly at a bit of a standoff over his contract, and if things don't get resolved soon, a trade could be in the cards. And honestly, that might be the kind of move the Patriots need to make, because right now there's just not a lot of proven production coming off the edge. Harold Landry was a solid pickup, and he definitely brings a level of schematic intelligence to the defense. But he's not the type of guy who's going to rack up 15 sacks and wreck a game by himself. He's more of a piece in the puzzle than the whole picture. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Foxborough might be buzzing for a reason that's yet to be confirmed, but the whispers are growing louder. Brandon Aiyuk could be on his way to New England. While no official statement has been made, sources close to the situation suggest that the New England Patriots may have secured one of the most electric wide receivers currently in the game. The idea of Aiyuk donning a Patriots jersey feels almost surreal. Drafted by the 49ers in 2020, Aiyuk has steadily risen to prominence, becoming a cornerstone of San Francisco's offense. Known for his route running precision, explosive yards after catch ability, and a knack for making clutch plays, he would undoubtedly inject life into a Patriots offense that struggled for consistency in recent years. There's no confirmation yet, but the timing feels right. The Patriots have cap space, a new-look coaching staff eager to reshape the team's identity, and a desperate need for a number one receiver. With the AFC East becoming increasingly competitive, a player like Aiyuk could be the X factor that gives New England a fighting chance. What's also fueling speculation is Aiyuk's recent social media activity. Cryptic tweets, subtle follows, and some Boston-related emojis haven't gone unnoticed by fans and NFL insiders alike. Is he dropping hints or simply playing into the hype? Either way, the NFL community is watching closely. Of course nothing is final until pen hits paper, and trades have fallen apart at the last second before. But if the rumors are true, Brandon Aiyuk's arrival in Foxborough could mark a new era for the Patriots offense. After years of searching for a true WR1 since the departure of Julian Edelman, this could be the move that resets the narrative. For now, it remains just that, a rumor. But in the ever-dramatic world of the NFL, where smoke often leads to fire, Patriots fans have reason to be cautiously excited. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.